Hello everyone, and welcome back to Pokemon Scarlet Violet. And yes, we are going to be shiny hunting again today. This time I have an outbreak of Slowpoke. So we are going to be hunting for thing that is impossible to spot Slowpoke today. I'm not fond of this, but I want to get this shiny done because there were realistically like 3 different ways I could hunt this thing. One of them was just hunting it in Let's Go, which I kind of didn't want to do, but depending on how well this goes, we'll probably be focusing on trying to get it on the subathon on Saturday, not Saturday, Sunday. Because yes, we are doing a subathon on Sunday. Hello, Rosie. Don't say that I said you were good at Splatoon, Rosie. Because Sly DM'd me and was like, did you say this? Like, no, I didn't. Don't lie to Sly, Rosie. That will not earn you favorability points. But how is everybody doing today? Rosie, if you have to ask something, if you have to ask Sly something like that, you think we may know the answer. Especially when you say that I say the opposite of what I actually said. That's why we love you, Rosie. Let's get to our shiny hunts. So we are looking for a slightly more pale Slowpoke today. Slightly. Rosie, when you have to go say, yes, Max has said this, when I said the opposite, that says contrary. So there is that. Wrong thing. There we go. Yeah, Slowpoke, not gonna be the most entertaining thing for us to find because they look basically identical. They are basically identical to the normal thing. Hey, I know what Sly said. I know what Sly said, Rosie. He was very specific that what you said. Also, yes, we have maybe like 3 spawns of Slowpoke per time we reset this. This is why this is going to be a bit of an annoying shiny hunt. Because it basically only appears in a few spots, and it takes a while to get a bunch of them to appear. Not exactly the easiest time for shiny hunting something that is already very not easy to spot. Nope, wrong thing. Yeah, it's not exactly a fun hunt. How you doing, Omar? Hope you're doing very well. Hope you're doing very well. Yeah, it seems like further away from the actual Slowpoke outbreak, there's more Slowpoke. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know if those are actually boosted by the outbreak odds, though. Because it's very, very weird. Hello, Naruto fan. How are you doing? Hope you are doing well. Glad to see you from yesterday. Hope you are doing very, very good. And yeah, the reason I'm doing a Psychic Sandwich, not a Water Sandwich, is I don't want to be getting spawn interference from literally everything else. I want to just be target hunting stupid Slowpoke right now. Also, Finnizin is just swimming onto land. Because, you know, like it wants to do. Sly has screenshots, Rosie. Sly has screenshots. You can't argue with screenshots. All I know is what Sly said. All I know is what Sly said. I am merely conveying what was mentioned to me. Hi, Jake. How is Jake? Hope Jake is doing good. Rosie, when you have to say people say other things about Splatoon, you may need a reevaluation. You may need a reevaluation, especially when Sly's got a picture of the screen cap. That's the first message I sent. Yeah, I mean, see, this is why we like Rosie. Rosie provides much amusement. Well, I decided to stop this. Very nice. It's good to stop procrastinating. Hey, Midnight, how are you doing? Yeah, Rosie, this is... The thing is, Rosie, he doesn't, but the thing is that confirmed me everything that I said. I just said, yeah, he has a screenshot. And it's like, no, he actually doesn't, but like you replying that many replies, yeah, you actually did say that. Took the bait, hook, line, and sinker, Rosie. What did like Ash did yesterday? I showed you it was fun. Don't let me. Not a fan of Splatoon? Yeah, it's not for everyone. Rosie, it doesn't matter. You still admitted exactly what you said. You give a like, tell Sly that ear is for telling. Not. Hey. The thing is, Sly didn't tell us his draft picks. We already knew Sly's draft picks before all of this. The key difference between the two of us is I'm not predictable like Sly is. We knew Sly is always going to go for Zygarde first. It's like basically his calling card these days. No one else is going to pick Zygarde. I'm not going to tell Sly what I'm thinking of picking so he can counter-snipe me. He already knows my mutually assured destruction comment with him, where it's like, if he takes my thing, I'm taking his Zygarde. So it's either way I win. Killing some dogs. Dogs are nice. Almost unintentionally break it. That does not sound fun. How do they almost unintentionally break your legs? That does not sound like a fun time. Never anyone involved. Not sound fun. But you're not looking forward to the entirety of the Slowpoke time. Am I right or am I wrong, Midnight? Is Sly not predictable with his picks? He made no subtlety about him wanting to go pick Zygarde again. So it was like it was very clear that he was going for Zygarde. I'm not saying. Again, so Sly mentioning it just confirmed what I already suspected. It gave me no information I didn't already possess myself. It's why we like Sly. He's not subtle. He's clever, but he's not subtle. Exactly. Like, I can appreciate he doesn't try to be subtle. Also, yeah, Sly just sent me the thing of, yes, you actually did say that, Rosie. It's like, we have screenshots. Like, Rosie, don't lie. Don't hide what you said. We know all. We see all. We have the chat replays. Okay, Midnight, bye-bye. We have the power of replay. So you cannot escape. You cannot escape. Our power is too great. Hey, Violet. Oh, Paradox! Shiny. I actually like them. I like the Chrome. Granted, I like Steel types. So it's like, that metallic look appeals to me. I get it doesn't appeal to everyone. So it's like, it's not for everyone, but it's just like, I like it. I think it looks neat. I hate purple peacocks as well. Are there even purple peacocks? I actually don't even know what colors they are. The thing that makes sense that they're all the same color, because like they're like robots, so it makes sense that they're all like monocolored. I like that they went in a different direction with the shiny colors as opposed to like the base, rather than with the Scarlet Paradoxes. They did just kind of reuse the same shiny color scheme of like the base Pokemon, which I think that's kind of lame. It's kind of like, would you rather have all of them be the same color, or would you rather have them just reuse the same shiny as what the original Pokemon's shiny color scheme is. Either way, they're kind of not original. Time my life to be deleted. Yikes. Pokeball is a duck. Oh yeah, I guess Pokeball is a peacock. I never thought about that. You're right. You're right on that. Very tosh look different. Not okay. The only reason why is that it does have the different like the spiky shredder thingies on its back, which Donphan doesn't have. That's like the only like big outlier. The other ones, they just reuse the same exact color scheme. You know, Fluttermane's shiny color scheme is the exact same color scheme as shiny Misdreavus, shiny Roaring Moon, same thing as shiny Salamence's. And it's like, I like, you know, Volcaronas, I'm not Volcaronas, Slitherwings, the same as Volcaronas. You missed that Sly sent me the proof of what you said, Rosie. Doesn't have the yellow tips. He sent me the screenshots of you said in chat. He has the screenshots. They pretty much reuse the same color scheme that the base Pokemon do, which is kind of why I like what they did with the all silver. Rosie, the fact that you're saying like no, he didn't is like they exist. You did say them. It's like we know this to be true. Hello there, Gnarly Thor. Welcome in. And again, guys, if you haven't done so already, please do not forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. There are 6 people in chat and only 8. Like, he did, Rosie. But again, it's like you're just confirming that we know you said this. Jojo, bye for now. Bye-bye, Blurb. Bye-bye. Believe all you want, Rosie. We know it happened. We know exactly what happened. It is no use to lie. It is no use to try the deception. Your deception check roll came back out of 1 to 20, a 0. So we know the truth. Trust me, Sly's not a good liar. Sly is a very bad liar. I hate trade evolve. Yeah, everyone hates trade evolutions. The good thing is in this game, you can actually get them just via Terra raids. And if you also have Legends Arceus, you can actually put anything that has a trade evolution in this game into Pokemon Home, send that into Legends, evolve it in Legend, then send it back. So you can just trade them on that map. So you can trade evolve them that way. It's like, they already added in the trade evolving system from Legends. Why don't they just import that system into the modern games? Why don't they just actually do that? The one good change that I will say with 0 strings attached that Legends did well was they did that. And they did not include that. Makes no sense. Rosie, this is what happens. This is what happens when you say one thing, when someone contradicts the other thing, and you stick with the lie. We know the truth, Rosie. We know the truth. Simply admit it. Dang, Zelda built differently. She wasn't even reacting to the sword. Oh, so you are in Hyrule Castle. Doing the Hyrule Castle investigation then for Tears of the Kingdom Maiden. Hello there, Price. How are you doing? Is the price right? The price is indeed right. Or is it right? We do not know. Yeah, this is one of the hardest. I said not the hardest shiny to hunt, but one of the most time-consuming ones. Oh, yeah, Palafin sucks. I would say Palafin is the worst evolution method of the entire series. but you can at the very least get Palafin just via Terror Raids. So you can actually, that's how I actually got mine on my other version. Rosie, it's not a think. The answer to that question is not a think. That is a known quantity answer. But yeah, it's like, I honestly feel like when they made Palafin's evolution method, they took all the issues people had with Galarian Yamask's evolution and thought, we can make something more annoying than that. Then Zed is a fool! Then Zed has chosen wrong! Oh, what did you work on today, Hannah? What was the working on? Zed. The Zed quarters, as I like to call it. Zed. Zed is a good bean. Zed is a very good bean. But where is the stupid Slowpoke? I've asked that, he doesn't think I'm an idiot. Then Zed is wrong! Or I will need to confirm with Zed. Because as we know, you don't exactly have a track record of saying exactly what other people say, Rosie. Hey, Golipper, how you doing? How you doing? What if you nicknamed your Pokemon? Oh, pack website. I'm not sure what you mean, Naruto fan. You mean like, what if you nickname the Pokemon the same thing as the Genning website? I'm not really sure I track. Granted, I don't use Genning things. I adamantly am anti-Genning. So it's like, I'm not exactly tracking what you're saying. You may need a little bit of elaboration. Because I am very smooth-brained. I am very unfortunately smooth-brained. Riveting shiny hunt. Slowpoke. Not really. Plus lie asks that if I am an idiot. I already have asked. I have already asked, Rosie. But I know Zed is not very good about answering Discord stuff. You like Volcanic Arcanine in that. I want to... I take it the hunt has been going. Exactly, Jared. I mean, we also just started like 20 minutes ago, so... Can't really be doing too much by then. So that means you think you are also an idiot, Rosie. You have admitted you also think you're an idiot. You took the bait, Rosie. Hook, line, sinker. This is why we love you, Rosie. It's fun to banter. But one thing that kind of exacerbated is when we say one thing and you say we said another thing and we go and confirm with the other people and they say, no, I didn't say the thing that Rosie said. It doesn't exactly help your case, Rosie. Honesty is the best policy. It is best to be honest. The intensity is amusing. The intensity is the most amusing part. Been working on the Delphox raid counter guide. Definitely been going along pretty well. My biggest worry about the Delphox raids is just how Magician is going to be working. Because there is nothing like the way Magician operates that actually works in Terror Raids right now. So, like, moves involving items don't work in Terror. They just flat do not work. So I don't know if just Magician does not work. But if it does work, I have a plan for that, which is in the video. So if there's a plan. They should do the Gen 5 starter. They already did a Gen 5 starter. They did Decidueye, not Decidueye, they did Samurott like a few months ago. I think what they're doing now, and this was my original hypothesis months ago that has actually been pretty much confirmed at this point. They did the most popular Pokemon they did the most popular starter from each of the generations. Then they released Home. Because they wanted to build up hype for the Terra raids. And then, now what they're doing is they're just basically going, okay, we've done the most popular one from every single generation. Now we'll just go through each gen by gen. They're probably going to eventually work around the Gen 5 starters. It's just they wanted to get, the big ones out first. So, I think that's what they were trying to do. Because by now, you look at the other starters from every one of the generations, they're not as popular as, like, the first one they did. Like, Delphox and Chestnut. They're not nearly as popular as Greninja. Blastoise and Venusaur are not nearly as popular as, say, Charizard. So it's like, they went with, like, the most popular one from each region first. Which made sense. It was the most logical one to do. And again, guys, if you haven't done so already, please do not forget to leave a like and subscribe for more nonsense on this end of the channel. Now, Slowpoke, appear already. We've done our 60 KOs. We are at a level 3 Sparkle Power Sandwich. Why will you not appear? God, this outbreak is pain. This is a painful outbreak. It's of all places, it had to be in the one area where the Slowpoke spawns are absolutely garbage. I actually don't know why the spawns are terrible right here. Because if you just go a little bit over here, the spawns are actually pretty good. So I don't know what's going on with this outbreak. This outbreak. How small is like 8-4? That does not sound good. Oh, we will get a Slowpoke. We will get a Slowpoke today. I hate shiny Pokemon. There's a reason they do the shiny locks. It's because they have giveaways for Pokemon. It's basically because, well, one, it helps catch trackers. It helps track hackers. Because hackers will just gen in, shiny legendaries. And, shiny locked Pokemon, stuff that is not actually obtainable. And if that's in the game, oh, this person is hacked, blocked, and it just bricks your Switch. And I actually am okay with that, because again, I'm very anti-genning, very anti-hacking. So it's like, if you're gonna hack and you get your Switch bricked, you will suffer the consequences of cheating and violating terms of service. And the other part is that they do giveaways. Like, about, I think it's a year after the game releases, they do those GameStop gift codes. Which, I actually have my Zeraora one right here. I actually never redeemed this. The code's long since expired, but like, the Zeraora event. They do GameStop give codes, which is like to build hype for those. So, like, everyone can get, a shiny thing. Because, imagine, say you're a little kid, one of your first Pokemon games, and, oh, there's this special alternate colored legendary. I want that thing. That's cool. When they would never know what a shiny Pokemon is. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, to us who want to shiny hunt things, like, yeah, it's annoying to us, but I also think about it from the perspective of, the people who don't know what a shiny Pokemon is, and like saying, oh, that's really cool, I want that. And then, maybe that spurs on their want to eventually shiny hunt themselves in the future by, the first shiny they got was a shiny legendary. Maybe they want more shinies. So it's like, I can see why they do, and the other part is that they do certain shinies, like, very likely the Ruins legendaries. They're gonna be competitive participation rewards. You play during a certain window of competitive register, you get the shiny. It's what they did with the Galarian birds back in Sword and Shield. Also what they did with the Tapus. I periodically blank on the name of them, the Tapus. They did them back in Sun and Moon, well, Ultra and Ultra Moon. So it's very likely they're going to end up doing the same thing with the Runes Legendaries, and then making Miraidon and Koraidon just GameStop code give-outs. The code does not work. The code hasn't, they have an expiration on the code. Yeah, they after a certain point, the codes just go dead. So there is that. But yeah, I can understand why the shiny locks are a controversial thing within the community, but I guess for me it's more of like the shiny locks are less controversial than people hacking shinies in. So it's like it's a lesser of two evils, I guess. Because I actually was gonna make a video on this like a few years ago, you know, basically like about shiny locks, and that it was like it's a good thing. Shiny lock in the start is also a bit of a different thing. The reason for it is streamers, especially the big ones, they do not know the influence they have over game reception. So when you have, say, you know, big content creators that are shiny hunting starters, and they're doing this for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's nothing but frustration, their audiences don't really get any exposure to the game proper. It ends up very negatively harming the game itself. Like, there's a number of Pokemon shiny hunters and Pokemon streamers that flat out did not play BDSP because they were shiny hunting the starters and they were going to do a shiny only playthrough of BDSP. And in the entire time from the release of BDSP to the release of Legends, they didn't get a shiny starter. So you have huge swaths of the community which are getting almost unambiguously negative emotions of a game, which ends up massively hurting the reception of the game, and it becomes years later where a game's reputation is rehabilitated and actually looked at and reevaluated. I mean, a perfect example is what actually happened with Generation 5. Again, there's another video I was going to make that I actually never really got around to doing, but the damage done to Generation 5's reputation on release was not undone. Not even fully undone these days, but it started to be undone towards the later end of Gen 7. So you had huge parts of time where Gen 5 was, in the community, unambiguously bad. And if you said positive things about Gen 5, you were just wrong. And it's like, that is a stigma games will carry for a long time. And one of the reasons why they shiny lock things like the starters is so people don't get that same kind of negative experience of the game because they're just shiny hunting a starter and they start off the game with nothing but negativity after a very long shiny hunt. It's also they can eventually do giveaways of, like, you know, possibly shiny starters. It's like, there is a reason for it. And again, as someone who is, you know, ardently anti-genning, I'm generally one to play the devil's advocate for the shiny locks being in place because it does catch hackers, it does catch genners. Again, it's a lesser of two evils thing for me, but I can definitely understand why people don't like them. Okay, Rosie. Hello, Crimson. Can one of the mods go grab Crimson's link? How are you doing, Crimson? Hope you are doing delightful today. How to power wash SpongeBob stuff in Power Wash Simulator. Power Wash Simulator. That is just a game title and a half right there. Like, that is a game. That is a game. Slowpoke. It's a shame that Slowpoke is just such a hard shiny to spot, and also just there's so few spawns around here. You need to get. I'm not gonna get Power Wash Simulator, Mudkip. I am not going to get the game. I actually have a power washer at my house. I have to periodically clean off the house with it. So I don't do Power Wash Simulator. I do Power Wash IRL. I have no need to simulate that which I already do. But I appreciate the thought. I swear, if we end up finding... We're probably going to find, like, a shiny Magikarp or something before we find this shiny Slowpoke. Power Wash stream whenever, Hannah. That's not happening. I would need a remote camera to do that. The other part is I wouldn't be able to interact with the chat. Because I wouldn't be able to, like, control my stream computer from while using the Power Washer. I was like, it wouldn't happen. How much you gotta get paid? More than you could afford, Hannah. More than you could afford. No, the deal was, if you get Sly to watch JoJo, I watch, like, Hunter x Hunter or something like that. There was already an arrangement made, Mudkip. You cannot alter the terms of the deal. You cannot alter the terms of the deal post-deal being struck. Of course you forgot about it, Mudkip. Okay, yeah, it wasn't shiny. It's hard to tell with this one. But that is no shinies on the first sandwich. But we might have some. I know I work at Ma. And Mickey D. If you don't gotta call me Rogue. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I would demand more than most people would be able to do. Trust me, Hannah. Trust me. You haven't watched? No. I don't watch anime. I don't watch anime. Okay, well that was first sandwich, no shiny. A lot of people would probably say Scarlet's better. Personally, I don't really see a functional difference between either of them, because I'm function over form, and the two games are identical to me. I don't see an actual functional difference between them. But again, I'm coming out of the way I see the games, not, you know, the way that they play. No. Now it get. Hannah, we've been over this, man. I don't watch anime. We've been over this many times. You didn't miss anything, Stephanie. With the things like, you can just trade over the Paradox Pokemon, so it's like... Well, that's kind of what I mean, is that you can just trade over the Paradox Pokemon. It's not like you can't trade over them. So, it just matters what one you catch them in. It's not like you can't use them in the other game. But again, for me, it's that function over form. We know I'm a forehead. We know I'm very much a forehead, Kayla. Forehead moment. Okay. I said I watch few anime. I have seen a few of them. Not many. I've seen Dragon Maid. I've seen Naruto. I don't count Pokemon. I don't count Yu-Gi-Oh! I've seen JoJo. There was a time I watched Darling in the Franxx, so my brother would buy BDSP. Did not enjoy that series. That was lame. Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann. Half of the anime I've watched are made by Trigger. I'm not spoon-fed, Kayla. If I was spoon-fed, I would already have 3 shiny Slowpoke. I also made the wrong sandwich. I prefer catch stems. Can't breed it for some reason. There's a lot of Pokemon that you actually can't breed. Ultra Beasts were the same way, where they're just in their own egg group. A lot of things that you can't breed. Like the Ultra Beasts are that way. Paradox are that way. Obviously, paradoxes. Even mythicals are that way, aside from Manaphy, but Manaphy is a weird oddity. Manaphy is just weird. He's really trigger, they're doing a DC anime, and people aren't happy. I mean, when can DC do anything good lately? Like, DC can't make its intellectual properties work lately. That's not surprising. The thing is, like, if you want a good DC animated series, you want to see a good series of DC stuff. What the fuck was that sound? That was freaking creepy. If you want to see a good DC series, watch the DC Animated Universe. You will thank me. It is a fantastic series. Miraidon just like... Miraidon just decided to go freaking jet turbine mode. I don't even know what the hell that noise was. But again, guys, if you haven't done so, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Okay, tomorrow, depending on how things go, I may or may not be streaming for as long as I normally do. Because tomorrow, I may need to go do some yard work. For those who don't know, we have poison ivy in the backyard. And my brother, my mother, and my stepdad all have very bad reactions to poison ivy. My dad is immune to poison ivy. I am also immune to poison ivy. So basically, I need to go and do the stuff in the backyard because we had a lot of like very big windstorms lately. So a lot of tree branches have fallen down into the yard, and it's kind of not safe for them to go and, you know, pick up the stuff because there could be poison ivy everywhere. So it was like, all right, I gotta like impromptu hazmat suit up to handle that stuff tomorrow. So depending on how long that takes and how absolutely wiped I am, we may or may not be streaming for as long as we normally do. That remains to be seen. I'm immune to poison ivy apparently, and I'm okay with that. So they only had one wisdom tooth. I have inherited. I'm a mutant. My mutant power is one wisdom tooth and poison ivy immunity. Most useless X-Men in existence. Most useless X-Men power in existence. Then again, there's probably even more useless X-Men powers in existence. Probably more of them. Studio Trigger. So what is it about this DC project by Studio Trigger that people don't like? I have to know, Jared. I have to know. But like, Trigger generally does pretty good work. It's just Darling and the Franks I didn't. Mudkip! You know the deal. The deal was not Power Wash Simulator. However, your opinion has been taken into consideration, buddy. Taken into consideration. Hopefully you're day. It was good on the 4th of July. It was a good day. What team did Nemona have at the start of Scarlet Violet? That is honestly a very good question. What Nemona's team at the start of Scarlet Violet was. Wait, Power Wash Simulator sales stream some too. I don't think I actually have a Steam account. Again, I don't play games. I don't like. Again, if it's not Pokemon, it's not Kirby, it's not Call of Duty Zombies. I basically don't know it exists. I've been getting better about games, but I'm trying to get better. I've been trying to get better about them. But you will find I'm very woefully under-equipped for things. We can buy it on Switch, we can co-op them. Well, that's what, like a $60 Power Wash Simulator game? No, it's a rip. That's a rip. Hi, Kayla. How is Kayla? You go tell Forehead Queen Ash that she's a forehead. She's a forehead. We love Ash, but she's a forehead. Forehead. arcade mode. Power Simulator's on Switch for $25. Playing Legends yesterday, last Days of Tangle Outbreak with Johnny Alpha Tangrowth, and then Shink's Outbreak. After that, all of them was nice. Hello there, Alan. How goes Shutu? How goes the shoeist of Mewtwo's? You're at what? 3,052 DAs, I'm guessing? Or are you, or is that, or am I a bit high? They're going to release Mewtwo in Scarlet Violet before you get that Mewtwo. It isn't cowardice, Mudkip. It's I just don't want to waste the money on a game I won't play. It's being thrifty is what it is. It is intelligent money expenditure. Oh, getting over with it. What the heck is that? You guys are all listing off games I don't know what they are. Again, guys, if you haven't done so, please don't forget to leave a like on the stream and subscribe if you haven't done so already. But yes, this weekend we're going to be doing the Shiny Subathon. So, share it out to your friends. Let them know what we're doing. Every subscriber, every Shiny will extend the duration of the stream. You can play it for 1 hour and get a refund with stream refund policy. Really? Only 1 hour to get a refund? That's so lame. That's lame. I saw that you sent a DM, Mudkip, my microphone is blocking the actual message. I saw you sent something, I just don't know what it actually was. I mean, the other thing is, Mudkip, you could just, like, get it on Steam and just, like, share it with me on Steam so I can play it. Getting over it with Bennett Frotty is a fun game with fun game activities. You're not explaining, Jared. I don't have PC. Wait, you do not... Generalized confusion, Mudkip. Generalized confusion. That there is generalized confusion that was had there. Beyonce put a hole through his door because getting over it made him so... Okay, that's not a game I'm getting then. Noted. Noted. Thank you, Hannah. See, I can count on you, Hannah. Delivered the message. Thank you, Kayla. You are a good messenger. You are a good messenger, Kayla. Meanwhile, speaking of foreheads, Slowbro is being a forehead. You should never stop playing. You never want to stop playing Animal Crossing. That's part of the reason I've never played Animal Crossing, is I know I wouldn't be able to stop. It's the same reason I don't buy any plushies of Pokemon. I know I wouldn't be able to stop myself. What is it that you found interesting, Omar? The fact that Origin Dialga has a sub sandwich stuck in its throat? And is beyond cursed? And deserves to be defenestrated? God, Origin Dialga. I hate that thing. Dialga. Dialga. Play as Diogenes, the man whose lower half stuck in a metal cauldron. Must use a sledgehammer to climb the mountain of random sorted objects and no checkpoints. Yoga. Omar! You're banned. No. No. Bad Omar. Bad Omar. Bad Omar. No. No. Ah, so I'm mad by Power Simulators. No! Yeah. A ton of lock on this a little bit. Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, when it comes to the Shiny-thon, we're probably going to be shiny hunting Slowpoke in Let's Go anyway. So we have other means of getting it. But it's just I wanted to minimize them in here as much as I can. Hello, Anakin. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. It was like, I had a Slowpoke outbreak. He was like, I could probably get one of these. I could get one out of here. But it's like, nope, they just don't have a difference at all. Back watching something. Welcome back, Naruto fan. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. You did not miss anything. We didn't get any shinies. If I recall correctly, Markiplier broke his chip by throwing it across over an ankle when playing that game. So here's the thing. I don't know who Markiplier is. So, who is Markiplier? You're gonna need to explain and give me some context, Jared. Got Mine by Beach by Lavencia. I don't know what FNAF is. Yeah, you have to keep in mind, there's only one gamer that I actually watch, like who's a large creator, and that's Chugga Conroy. So I don't watch other creators unless I know them personally. Never heard of Five Nights at Freddy's. Aiden, I've explained this many times. I don't watch anyone that basically isn't Chugga or my friends. It's like, I don't know these games. Technically, I also watch the Runaway Guys, but the Runaway Guys is a channel that Chugga Conroy is a part of, so it's like, that's Chugga. I don't know what that is, Mudkip. I don't know what that is, Mudkip, so you're gonna need to explain that as well. Remember, I live under a rock, guys. I live under a video game rock that is vaguely Gigalith shaped. And again, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. I'll be back in a bit. When do I feel like Jared is going out to go grab a sledgehammer and hunt me down? Why do I feel like that's what Jared's planning on doing? Back next. No, you live on 15 planets. Well, technically, depending on your perspective, you could always be living under a planet. I don't know what Five Nights at Freddy's is, so I wouldn't really be able to watch the movie and know what anything going on is. Like, I saw the Mario movie. I've never played a Mario game. I'm like, oh, I vaguely know who Bowser is. I vaguely know who Mario is. I actually know who Luigi is from Chugga Conroy's Luigi's Mansion playthroughs. But it's like, I don't know, anything about any of these characters other than they're in Smash Bros. And they're in Mario. It's like, I would be completely lost. I'm gonna slap you in the 9th dimension. Okay. Okay. Do it, Mudkip. Do it. Do it, you coward. Do it. Just remember, Mudkip, if you slap me into the 9th dimension, I can't beat Sly Guy. I can't help you mess with Sly Man Boom Guy. Just remember the consequences of your actions. Okay, good. What's Patrick Star? Okay, I actually know who Patrick Star is. I barely saw any episodes of SpongeBob, but I know who Patrick is, even though I don't care much for SpongeBob. Again, you guys fail to grasp, even though I've mentioned it many times. A lot of the media you guys typically associate and consume, I just don't know. It's just not really the stuff that I watched or played when I was younger. It's like, it's important to consider, I really don't play many games. I've been trying to expand that, but there are really not many I've played. That's part of the reason we did the channels, I could expand into playing other games. But yeah, I do know who Patrick Star is, even though I haven't really seen him. I'm about to slap this man into the second JoJo timeline. So, which timeline is that? Is that the one where Father Pucci didn't exist? Or is that the one with Steel Ball Run? Which timeline exactly is the second timeline? Steel Ball Run. Ah! Well, that's the one like where you have like stand fruit, right? That's like you go to an island in the middle of a desert that moves around, like you get stands from like eating fruit there. Not, you know, getting shot with an arrow. Which still makes no sense. Like, I feel them trying to explain where stands came from with the arrows just made things more confusing. Excuse me, you forehead king, I heard you told me. You are a forehead, Ash! You are a forehead! How you doing, Ash? Thank you very much, Omar, for grabbing her link. Thank you very much. I'm just bad before I uploaded the DMs on Dialga. Oh, you've already gotten there, Omar. You've already got. I'm not spoon-fed. If I was spoon-fed, I'd already have 3 shiny Slowbro, and I wouldn't need to be hunting them. Talk a lot about the Flash. Like the DC character, the Flash? Now to Dozo to get spoon. Oh, Dono. First, I read Donos as Dundozos. Like what? Why is the catfish here? It's like, oh, Donos. I'm You talk a lot, you like the Flash. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You talk... I mean, again, I'm not really someone familiar with DC stuff. Forehead! I am indeed forehead. Just remember, Ash, we have discovered from yesterday you might be able to dish out things, but you can't take it. You're a glass cannon. You can bully me all you wish, but we know you can't take it nearly as well as you give it. You are not, Ash, you are the furthest thing from pure and innocent. You are a glass cannon, Ash. You are very glass and very cannon. You are a fragile speedster. You are a fragile speedster. You know what? Never heard of it. Again, there's a lot of things I just don't know. Hey, Bryce, thank you for the alerts. Hey, Black Red Bill, how you doing? Hey, definitely not Alan. Welcome back. How you doing? Glass? Glass? Glassiac? Who are you people? We're your fans, Ash. We're your fans. We love you, Ash. This is fun. This amuses me very greatly. And again, guys, if you haven't done so already, please do not forget to leave a like and subscribe. Welcome to this cluster, this fuster clock, this nonsense and shenanigans. I have never played Halo, but I plan to eventually play Halo. I have heard nothing but good things about Halo 1 through 3, and I know a lot about Halo, but I've never played them. I think they're very good games. Open worms out, it does. Hello, John, welcome in. We're playing Phoenix Wright. Objection. I don't play Fortnite. Fortnite is one of the 2 games I will never play. It's one of 3 games I will never play. I have a moral objection to playing Fortnite. I have a moral objection to that game's existence. Spoon Knight. I mean, you could call Shovel Knight a Spoon Knight. Because a shovel is just a very large dirt spoon. So yes, you could say that I am that. You could very much say that I've played Spoon Knight. Pokemon, you're gonna shiny over these. There's honestly nothing in particular I'm gonna hunt for, honestly, yeah. Anakin. Because, remember, I don't really care much for shinies. You know, it's a shiny living dex. I'm hunting for the shinies for the living dex. Not necessarily like, oh, I like the shiny. Because I'm finding over form. Like, the shiny proper, there's no difference between a shiny and the non-shiny for me. It's more of just like basically a checklist at this point. It's kind of going to be, I'm just going to hunt whatever's most convenient. Yeah, Metagross isn't my favorite shiny. Yeah. I have a very different relationship with shinies than I know most Pokemon creators and Pokemon players have. I really don't care for them. A large part of that is likely a holdover from the days where I associated shinies with nothing but genning. So it's like, not good mentality initially starting with. Shiny was Zubat, evolved into Crowbert. Crowbert. I firmly disagree. I firmly disagree on that stance, Zetar. But you are entitled to your own opinion. It is one of the glorious things about Pokemon, that everyone is allowed to have different opinions on the various shenanigans involved in things. You have shiny Bolor. No, I only have shiny Gigalith. I need to hunt shiny Boldor and shiny Roggenrola to finish that family. Crowbert. It's a Crowbert. It's a Crowbert. For a second I thought it was a green wing, so like, okay, we get another shiny Wingull. Nope, we did not get a shiny Wingull. No, we have not shiny hunted Arceus yet. However, we are going to be shiny hunting Arceus. Soon. Soon, trademark. Because I have completed the Pokedex in my Legends Arceus file. I can go catch Arceus and start hunting that in BDSP. Well, the final 11 enter Zubat better than the pre-evolution. Correct, go back. Also, imagine if Shiny's got a stat boost of some kind. They would never do that. They would never give Shinies a stat boost. You have like an infinite supply of shiny Boldor from the shiny hunts we did of Ho-Oh. You have so many of those things. I'm pretty sure there was one night you got like 2 of them. You got so many shiny Boldor that one night. But yeah, we are actually going back to Sword and Shield this weekend for the Shiny-thon. Still got a couple shinies we can get in Dynamax Adventures. What about Darkrai? Shiny Mythicals are not included in the Shiny Living Dex. Matter, you have a Shiny Malamar and a Shiny Weedle. I used to have a shiny Weedle while I had shiny Kakuna, but now it's evolved into a shiny Beedrill. I used to have one, but it has evolved. But yeah, we're gonna be doing the Shiny-thon this weekend, and it's gonna be, we're gonna rotate between a couple of games, and we're gonna start in Scarlet Violet, then we're gonna go to Legends or Sword and Shield. Then, after we finish either Legends or Shield, we'll go to the other one. Then we'll go to Let's Go. Then we'll go to Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and I got a plan for everything. Wait, I was not far off. I said 3,052. I was not far off. Even shiny stat increases just add more grinding and make a battle ready mon. Hello there, Thunderous. How are you doing? Hope you are doing delightful. Yeah, they're never gonna give shinies a stat boost. They would never make shinies deliberately better. Eventually, they're going to give a remake for all the games, but we're not going to get a Gen 5 remake for at least another year or so. You know, it's going to be at bare minimum a year before we get any news about a Gen 5 remake, if it's even existing. I think after Ultra and Ultra Moon, we're probably going to loop back to Scarlet Violet. It's like, the thing is, you can basically approximate the entire future release schedule of the Pokemon games just by the way that they've been doing the cycles previously. You know, they're not going to do a Generation 5 remake a year after they released their newest game. Every single time they've ever done a thing is they have the first release, then a year for either the DLC, like they did with Sword and Shield, or, like with, say, Ultra and Ultra Moon, it was Ultra and Ultra Moon. It was the second version. Then a year after that is the remake. The same thing happened with Sword and Shield and Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. It was Sword and Shield, then Sword and Shield DLC, then BDSP. Have a good one. Bye, Abercrombie. As of right now, the only thing people are talking about is how Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah. Very likely we're going to be getting a Nintendo Switch 2. I'm guessing about a year or two to about DLC. It's about a year or two. Yeah. The reason why is that having the games just released so close to one another it's detrimental to the games themselves. It is detrimental to release games too close to one another. They gave us Gen 2 remakes. That's already what it is. Yeah, they also did give us Heart Gold, Soul Silver remakes. However, they could give us remakes, where they give like a remake of Heart Gold, Soul Silver eventually, but I don't think it's going to happen. I have a whole video actually planned on this. There's actually an entire video presently in the works. Scripting is being done right now. Research is currently being conducted. If you want to see that video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and stay tuned. There's a video all about this. Something about Great Balls being better than Ultra Balls. That is wrong, Zetar. They are not better. Great Balls are worse than Ultra Balls. Nintendo needs to have voice acting. Voice acting would not work for Pokemon. We've actually been over this before in a previous stream where voice acting in Pokemon it wouldn't be worth it. You have so many characters. You've got 8 gym leaders. You have the Professor, Rival, Elite Four, Villainous Team. You're getting into basically the amount of people needed for a full series cast, which would be enormously expensive. And doing it on the same budget Pokemon games are normally done at. It would be so expensive to do. And it wouldn't really be where they wouldn't really add anything. Some games can like afford to do voice acting. A good example is like, look at Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom can do voice acting because there's just not many characters they need to voice. There's very, very few characters that need to actually be voiced. But you put that out to Pokemon where you would need all the major characters, the entire Elite Four, the entire gym, the entire main villains or antagonists, all of them need to be voice acted. You'd have costs that just balloon into absurdity for no real benefit. Like, no one is going to buy a game because there's voice acting. Or at the very least, if people do, the amount of people who will buy it is not enough that it justifies that level of an expense. It's the reason they don't do it. Hey, Bug, welcome in. It's alright, things like that notifications are weird. And yes, I do have a shiny Metagross, Kayla. Clearly, Kayla, you have not seen our Heart Gold Let's Play series, or the Zapdos Shiny Hunt. Otherwise, you would know that we have one. You would know if we had one then. Fake fan confirmed. Just joking with Kayla. But yeah, voice acting would not be beneficial. Or little voice acting. What about little voices acted like music? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Listen to the DS doing the exact same thing on the Switch. The DS. Not really. It's just that having voice acting in things don't really think. I'm not sure what you mean. They should add Spider-Man 2 if they make a Nintendo Switch 2. I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Like, yeah. I'm not sure what you mean by voice acting. And you mean like how, like in Getsis's battle theme, there was like Getsis being repeated? I'm not really sure what you mean. We don't know yet. We do not know yet, Stephanie. Metagame is too new. Yeah, the issue with that is having voices in music really doesn't add too much. For something like a theme where it's looping, it makes the loop more pronounced. Again, it wouldn't really add anything for the extra expense, which is kind of why they don't do it. Hardware. You just learned from the DS and they're doing the exact same thing. I'm not really sure that tracks, Omar. It's not... The DS and the Switch are very, very, very different things. The DS basically used the touchscreen for everything. You know, for almost every game, the touchscreen was important. The touchscreen basically is irrelevant on the Switch. You rarely use the touchscreen for anything. There were entire games built around the touchscreen. With this, the touchscreen is basically not used in like anything other than like maybe menus for certain things. Because the game has to be playable in dock mode, not handheld mode, exclusively. Which is why they'll never make a game for the Switch that is exclusively handheld mode. Because you can't make it in dock mode playable. That's why they reworked the Grand Underground in BDSP to be joystick viewable. Well, it was Peak Gaming Accessory. I forgot Labo exists. Honestly, that's just hilarious. Like, yeah, it's just cardboard. It's so neat, but also kind of dumb. Here's the subject, but Heat Ran is going to destroy the Delphox, right? As for 10 years, Pokemon Switch 6. Nintendo Switch lasts 6 months without charging. I'm not sure what you mean, Nintendo. I'm not sure what you mean, fan. I'm not understanding. That is another sandwich and no shiny. 2 sandwiches, no shiny. 2 sandwiches, no shiny. Very nice, Bug. Very nice. Hello, Alpha. The Switch should get new themes. The Switch is honestly probably on its way out. We maybe have another year of the Switch left before the next system is coming out. I mean, next like year or two, like probably another year for us to get like the announcement of the next thing. Because I'm thinking the next Pokemon game, like the next mainline, like next generation Pokemon game, I'm thinking that is going to be an early release of the next system. So like next year, the year after next year is probably when we'll get it, and like that's probably when we get the thing. Maybe like Gen 10. Rather Black Hole 3. Let's get it. Neither of them, because you can't really continue on the Black and White storyline because they kind of completely wrapped up the entire storyline. Let's Go is likely never going to have another Let's Go game in existence because of the purpose of what Let's Go was. He's kind of irrelevant these days. And Legends is honestly the same thing as Let's Go. They're basically one and the same game, just one is 10 times more grindy. Money is in 2 more years with the Switch. Yeah, I think about 2 more years with the Switch. Then we get the announcement of the next game, the next system. And then Gen 10 is going to debut on the Switch. The Switch's successor. I don't want to call it the Switch 2.0 because it's not that. But like, I think we're going to get a new system the year of the release of the next Pokemon, the next Pokemon generation. I think it's what's going to happen. Probably going to be another mainline game for it. Yes. That was that, like, they're probably another mainline Game Boy Gen, but that's why I think the next Nintendo system is what's going to be I think the first Pokemon game on the next Nintendo system is going to be Gen 10. That is, I think, the better phrasing for it. I think that's a better phrasing. Shiny I got today. I did not see what it was, Kayla. I have been a bit busy with editing, scripting, and working on video stuff. Switch 2.0. When I mean Switch 2.0, I mean the next system, like how the Wii went to the Wii U. The OLED was just a slight performance increase with better battery life and I think like Bluetooth on it. Not a wholesale new console. I mean a new console altogether, not an improvement. Yeah, basically the Switch U. Like, I think it's gonna be a brand new system, is what I'm saying. Not, like, an improved version. That's, let's say, the successor. Black and White 3 is first. We're probably not gonna get Black and White 3. Very like again, this is another video I have in the works, but like very likely we're not gonna get Black and White 2 remakes. We're just gonna get a Black and White remake. Because the main issue with having a Black and White 2 remake is that Black and White's story is self-contained very loosely. It's still very heavily dependent on knowing the context and how Black and White ended for things to really make sense. So if they just remade Black and White 2 and just basically threw you into the, they from the get-go, people would be lost. People who haven't played the originals. You're essentially starting halfway through a story without the lead-up. So they're likely not going to do that. Gen 9, Texas. Ah, that'd be something. That'd be something. Canada region is just snow. Let's say remove. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Omar. Do you mean like you don't want the handheld to main console conversion thing? Because I like that. Don't be Texas for Gen 10. I think it'd be interesting. Honestly, I think we're probably getting another European country as Generation 10. Europe or Australia. I think Australia is, like, the strongest contender for the next region if it isn't, like, Italy or Greece. Now, again, that could be me biased because I'm Italian. But I think Australia is probably one of the strongest contenders for a region because there's so many just interesting animals there that you could just make into a Pokemon. Oh, Arctibax. Nice. Frigibax. Yeah, Frigibax is the baby form, Arctibax is the second form, and then Baxcalibur is the final form. Texas does not need... Texas does need a Pokemon gen. There's already been 2 regions of Pokemon that are from America. Well, technically 3, if you count Ore. You got Unova, based on basically New York City. You got Alola, which is Hawaii. And if you count Ore, that's Arizona. Yeah, the XD Gale of Darkness and Pokemon Coliseum are based on Arizona. Yep. Best Pokemon remakes. Okay, best Pokemon remake, that's an interesting question. When you say best remake, do you mean most improvements over the original, faithfulness to the original, or most enjoyable game? Because, like, depending on the framing of the question, if it is most faithful, that answer actually goes to BDSP. Because by technicality, it is the most faithful. It is faithful to a fault. Which one do you enjoy the most? That's... Gotta say, the answer for me is not or S, because I don't enjoy Megas. Megas automatically take things down about 1 billion pegs for me. So it's kind of a tie between BDSP and HGSS. And I don't have a particularly high opinion of either of the games. Yeah. Again, my views on the game is actually very different than most people. Very, very different. I don't like Kanto. I am not a Kanto fan. I do not care for Kanto. If I'm going to play a Kanto game, I'm going to play Let's Go. Because at the very least, the physical special split exists there. The one thing about why I can never go and replay, like, I can never go play Generation 1 through 3 games, is that I default to knowing what move categories are. Like, oh, Sludge Bomb, that's a special move. I'll teach it to my special attacker. Oh, wait, right, it's physical. Crunch, that's a physical move. Oh, right, it's a special attack here. And it's like, it takes so much out of the game when it's like, oh, right, this doesn't work the way I think it does. And so many bad moves are just what is present. Like, we forget how many good moves Gen 4 end. Gen 4 onwards is where, like, the vast majority of moves that we use in Pokemon games, those came from Gen 4 or later. You know, very, very few moves, comparatively, that existed back in Generation 1 through 3, we still use. Like, Brick Break is one of them. Earthquake, Rock Slide, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, like, Psychic. Shadow Ball was not used back before Generation 4. Shadow Ball was basically a non-existent. Favorite fossil Pokemon. Favorite fossil is gonna be a weird one, but I am a big fan of Cradilly. Favorite one is Cradilly. I think Diamond and Pearl was split. Puzzle Pokemon to be a Legends game that they made more. That wouldn't make sense because fossil Pokemon kind of went extinct, and Legends was only set about 150 years in the past. Yeah, Legends takes place about 200 to 150 years ago. It's not ancient. Favorite Mega Design was none. They're all over-designed messes. They're too edge. They are trying too hard to be cool. Yeah, it's like, that's one of the reasons why Legends didn't actually add any lore. It's basically the same game as what we already had with Diamond and Pearl, just like, okay, well, technology is a little bit less advanced. It's like, it's very modern. It's not what we think it is. You know, a lot of people are like, no, yeah, the game's like, thousands. No, it's like 150 years ago to 200 years ago. It's very recent comparatively. Kind of my favorite thing about it is, like, it's... My favorite thing about Legends is that it's not anywhere near what we actually think it is. And I find that funny. It's cognitive dissonance, I believe is what that's called. Yeah, it's a very, very interesting thing. Cause like if it was like adding lore, you would be playing like the stuff that they're talking about in that game, which is like the stuff we already knew. Like, oh yeah, back when Pokemon and humans used to live, you know, basically together, when humans and Pokemon basically one and the same. The times of like where the noble Pokemon existed, those are the things that are mentioned back in Diamond and Pearl and Platinum in the Kanalame library. That would be adding new lore. The funny thing is, like, the one major thing of new lore that Legends actually added is the most hated Pokemon from that game, Enamorus. And I just find that absolutely hilarious. That just slays me with laughter. That the game added some new lore, and the game is held up for adding new lore, but the Pokemon that is involved in the new lore is the most hated thing from that region. Favorite bug type? Ooh, Volcarona. Gotta be Volcarona. Gotta be Volcarona. I ever since the genies. Ooh. Why do you hate the genies? I mean, I hate Tornadus because it's obnoxious right now and competitive. But I like Landorus. I like Dio Blando. I like Dio Blando. We have Namorous. I really don't know. I don't know why people don't like Enamorous. I don't care for it. I feel indifferent to it. I don't like it. I don't dislike it. I have no strong feelings whatsoever. Favorite Gen 9 Pokemon? Roaring Moon. Solidly Roaring Moon. I think a lot of it is that people don't like the genies because they're very annoying and competitive. And seeing another genie was not good. The other part is a lot of people probably don't like Enamorous because getting it in Legends is annoying. You know, the way you have to get it is very much infuriating. Favorite Ruin one? Probably Chi-Yu just because it's so silly. Like, Chi-Yu just amuses me. It's the little flamey fish. Yeah, it's either Chi-Yu or Shenpao, but I also don't really care for Shenpao because, like, it's not as silly. The pun of Sabertooth Cat is funny, but it's also not an actual saber sword. Like, it's a broadsword. It's not a saber, so, like, it works, but it doesn't. Get a team. No, I'm not gonna get a new team for the DLC. I don't really kind of see the point for making a new team for it. Count Pokemon, look at 9. But yeah, Chi-Yu and Fluttermane is like, was the insane combo. Thankfully, you're starting to see a lot less of Chi-Yu Fluttermane these days. Mostly because of a lot, like, really high-tier Pokemon are jockeying for the spots on people's team lists. Like, with Urshifu existing, Chi-Yu's having a little bit of a hard time. Urshifu Rapid Strike, I should say. Because before, Chi-Yu really liked going in with a Focus Sash. And then it just completely destroys, it just completely shreds it. Favorite Pokemon from every region. Ooh. Zapdos, Tyranitar, Metagross, Togekiss, Gigalith, Tyrantrum. Hard pick for Gen 7. Hard pick. But I'm gonna go Incineroar. It's Incineroar or Kartana for Gen 7. Duraludon, and then Roaring Moon. You will notice a trend among those. That's also Shenpao. The issue is, I'm pretty sure most Shenpao are sashed. That's a little bit of an issue you may be encountering. I wanted to get a team Pokemon holding Quick Lawn Showdown. Nice roast! Nice, getting the little shiny crayfish. Delightful. How goes your shiny Altaria hunt, Roost? Nope, it is Steel and Dragon. Steel and Dragon. I was a pure thing of curiosity, Roost. I meant nothing malicious by it. I was just inquiring for curiosity's sake. I was trying to be frank. Don't go bite my head off, buddy. Most hated Pokemon evolution. Ooh! Gen 1 is Charizard. Gen 1, the most hated is Charizard. Most hated of Gen 2. Oh, that's... Most hated of Gen 2. That's a very difficult question. I don't really think any... I guess Miltank, I guess Miltank would work for that. Gen 3. I really don't know of anything from Gen that feels like overly disliked. There's a lot of things that are forgettable from Gen 3, but nothing I would say is overly hated. Maybe Dusclops is, like, the closest? But, like, maybe Dusclops? Gen 5. Not Gen 5. Gen 4. I'm drawing a blank for, like, hated stuff. I guess Perugly for Gen 5. Gen 4 probably Perugly. Gen 4 would probably be Perugly, all things considered. Gen 5, Vanillux. Vanillux or Garbodor. Garbodor would be overhated. Gen 6. Aromatisse, and not undeservedly. Gen 7, probably Poplio. Gen 8, probably Urshifu. Probably Urshifu or Calyrex. People really hate those. Hater in your opinion. I mean, I think the question is Alpha. I think the question Alpha is, what do I think is the most hated Pokemon from every game, not what is my least favorite of every region. I think that's what the question is. Both. People hate both of them. People hate both Urshifu. With a passion. Do not say phenomenal for Generation 7. I didn't get to Gen 7 yet. I was gonna say either Pheromosa or... Oh, what did I say for Generation 7? Probably Pheromosa, I think. There's... Really? People don't really mind... Most people don't mind Smeargle. Most people don't really care for it. Let me see which ones. Oh, which ones I don't like. Okay. That makes more sense. Okay, my least favorite from every gen. My least favorite from every region. Ooh. Gen 1 Gengar, probably. Probably Gengar. Gen 2. Honestly, probably Dunsparce. It kind of just annoys me at this point, like the way people get about Dunsparce these days. It just kind of ruins the Pokemon for me. Gen 3, probably Torchic. Not a big fan of Torchic. Gen 4. Gen 4. I'm kind of drawing a blank for Gen 4. Gen 5, the only Pokemon from Gen 5 I actually don't like is probably Watchog. Gen 6 is actually Aromatisse. It's actually Aromatisse for Gen 6, not Greninja. Because, like, there's an awesome idea for, like, a Plague Doctor Pokemon. Okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna mix it with a Flamenco Dancer. What? I'm sorry, what? What? Gen 7. There's really nothing from Gen 7 I dislike. Correction, Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu would probably fall into there, because it's just not good. Then Gen 8. I don't really know of anything from... Cinderace. Cinderace from Gen 8. Gen 9, Meowscarada. Gen 9 would be Meowscarada. There we go. That... The face cam drop shadow was 1 pixel off, and that bothered me. And that bothered me. I am never wrong. Not really. It's just I don't like Blaziken. I just never was a fan of Blaziken. I was never a fan of Cinderace either. Just like it. Cinderace reminds me a lot of... Cinderace gives me a lot of Blaziken vibes, but it's kind of like Blaziken, but not. Like, it's Blaziken like 0.7, and I was never a big fan of Blaziken to begin with. So it's like, it reminds me of Pokemon I already wasn't a big fan of. So it's like, it feels like it's trying to emulate Blaziken in a way. As weird as that is to say, it kind of feels like that. I get why people like it, I just don't care for it. And also, this conversation is now over. About the Naruto stuff. This conversation is over, guys. Timeouts will be distributed. Timeouts will be distributed. I like Gliscor. I think it's neat. I think it is neat. I actually have a shiny Gligar back in my Heart Gold version. Have yet to bring that up and to evolve it. I have yet to do anything with that one yet, because it's still... We got that during our custom Nuzlocke we did back in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and we ended up winning. We didn't use the Gligar on the team. Flying Scorpion. It amuses me. It's like flying a Scorpion with Dracula. With, like, vampire things. Obsidian. Blue-white. The blue-white Frox, I believe, is the strongest Frox. When do you like... What Pokemon do you like? But... I'm not sure I understand the question, Alpha. You mean, like, Pokemon I'm just indifferent to? Because the answer to that question is basically every single Pokemon. Most Pokemon I'm just generally indifferent on. I have the ones I like. I have, like, maybe only 3 I actually dislike. And then the rest is just, I just kind of don't really care one way or the other for. So it's... That's kind of the way I am with most things, is... There's a few things I have very strong opinions on, positive and negative, and then almost everything else just kind of fills into a gray area of general indifference. So, it's kind of how most things are with me. As which Pokemon type would do dislike? Oh, there's a number of reasons for disliking a dual typing. My least favorite dual typing is actually Fairy Steel, because that is point blank the most powerful type combination in the game. It is the best defensive typing, one of the best offensive typings, and it is all around a huge pain in the ass to deal with. Cough, cough, Zacian. Cough, cough. But you can't have to actually finish it. Too much filler. Too much focus on the Sasuke friendship on reply. Ooh, honestly, fair enough. Fair enough, Roost. I can understand that. That's why I just skip the filler. But other typings I don't care for is probably poison fighting. It's just not a good typing. You don't really get any advantages. You don't really get any it's a typing that has all of the disadvantages, but very few actual advantages. It's kind of like... doesn't do much. Ineffectual, I guess, the best way of putting it. Dragon, should make... Charizard Dragon type. The thing is, there's a reason they will never make Charizard an actual Dragon type. Because it would mess up the Grass, Fire, Water starter trio. The only generation where the Water type Dragon, or the Water type, Fire type, or Grass type is not weak to the other typing is Generation 4, where Empoleon is not weak to Grass. However, it is Steel, so it is weak to Ground, which Torterra is. kind of the big thing that they did with Generation 4 was actually have all 3 starters able to be useful against the other 2. So, like, even though Empoleon isn't, you know, weak to grass, it is weak to steel, is weak to ground. And even though, say, Cortera isn't weak to water or weak to steel, it's neutrally damaged by water. Whereas Infernape is weak to ground, and it is weak to water. Empoleon, weak to fighting, weak to ground. No, Runerigus is Ground Ghost. It'll always just be a fire-breathing Lizard with wings. Because, yeah, if it was Fire Dragon, it would honestly be the default best starter from Generation 1. It would not be weak to water, which would throw off the entire typing triangle. It's the reason why if they ever make a Platypus starter, it'll never be, like, Poison Water. It would mess up the entire triangle unless they make it, like, Grass Psychic or something like that. But then again, no, then it would be weak to that, so it wouldn't work. Yeah, it would have to be Grass Ground, then. No, actually, Rock Ghost. Yep, there's no Rock Ghost types. There is no Rock Ghosts. There's still a number of typings that have never been made. It's okay, Emblem. A lot of people have been getting... There's been a lot of people that haven't been getting the right, the timings at the right time. The notifications have not been going out at the right time. It's weird. I don't think they're gonna do any more Paradox Pokemon that are not Paradox of, like, the Legendary Beast and Legendary and the Swords of Justice. I don't think it's gonna happen. Fairy Fire type. There should be a Fairy Fire type. Is there not a Fairy Fire type already? I guess there's not. I guess there isn't a Fairy Fire type. Fairy Fire would be really, really broken. Well, then again, it wouldn't be as strong as Fairy Steel. But that would be a hecking annoying type to deal with still. That would still be a heckin' annoying typing. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna do, like, other Paradox of non-legendaries. Also no Electric Psychic type Pokemon. Electric Psychic exists. Alolan Raichu exists in this game. It does exist. That does exist. You can bring Alolan Raichu into the game. You can bring it in via home from Sword and Shield or from home or Sword and Shield. So it does exist. There's a lot of typings that have still not been made. Immediately, most of them are actually normal with another subtyping, which probably is not going to happen. Ever be a fourth? No, there will never be a fourth evolution. I do not believe they will ever make a permanent fourth evolutionary stage. I'm glad they will never do that. I'm actually happy that will never come. Because it's Evolution 4 Mega Boogaloo. Evolution 4 Mega Boogaloo. Because they tried those Megas, and those were colossally broken. Got it's removed, added, bad. Would it be better than this? I would say, even without its removed moves, it's still better than Great Tusk. The main reason of that comes down to its typing. It has a better defensive typing and a better offensive typing, considering what is allowed in the game at present. Because fighting and ground actually have a lot of overlap in what they actually hit for super effective damage. But also, Landorus has a better stat spread and a better speed stat. Indifference, Alpha. Indifference is what I feel to it. But yeah, Landorus doesn't need knockoff to be fantastic. What made Landorus good was its typing and its utility. Great Tusk is kind of a beat stick. What is a good Pokemon? I really have no idea. It probably was my brother. It was my brother. You believe 80 typings? Yes, I believe the 18 times is set in stone. I don't think we're going to get a 19 typing. I don't think we're going to get that. I hope they don't do more typings. They messed up with Fairy. I had a video I was actually working on a while back about like why Fairy was not actually a necessary inclusion, why it actually did more harm than good. But again, probably will never be releasing that video. But yeah, it's like I don't think they're ever going to introduce like light typing or sound typing or. I was asking because of the second DLC Pokemon. Oh, Terrapagos. We know Terrapagos is psychic. Yeah, I don't think they're ever going to add more typings. The issue with adding on typings, and this is again one of the reasons why Fairy was an unnecessary addition, is it added far too much complexity. You can't just add in a new typing and have it not have a massive cascade of effects. We saw this from when they added in Fairy. The idea that it was designed to counter Dragon, Dark, and Fighting is completely preposterous. That is simply not true. Because it doesn't actually counter them. It doesn't fix the issue with it. Because the issue with them was not actually typing, it was actually just stats. My favorite types because they were created. The funny thing is, it wasn't Dragon that was powerful, it was the stat lines. With Fighting types, what made them strong was their coverage and their attack. And with Dark types, it was that Dark types were in much the same deal. Their coverage, their attack, their abilities. It was more so the stat lines and everything really beyond the typing itself. Because you gotta remember, when it came to the overpowered dragons, let's look at the dragons. Legendaries. Latios. Kyurem. Dialga. Palkia. Kanagiratina. Garchomp. Dragonite. Salamence. Kingdra. Very, very, very high base stat dragons that are beating basically everything because they just have a natural stat edge. You know, Garchomp has pretty much the same attacks as most dedicated mainline attackers. But it has significantly more bulk than those Pokemon do. And Pokemon that are as bulky as it don't have the same speed, don't have the same attack power. It simply outstats them. Salamence. Intimidate. One of the best abilities. Dragonite. Multiscale. Dragon Dance. Extreme Speed. Great things. The fighting types, what made them really good was the fighting types that were good were also legendaries. Terrakion, with the beat-up Whimsicott strategy. Also, they were things like fake-out tech users with Intimidate, like, say, Scrafty. Or fake-out Unburden users, like Hitmonlee, I believe is the kicking one. Or Hitmontop, literally one of the best tech users in the entirety of VGC. Then you've got, you know, Dark type, Crocodile, Intimidate. A lot of it came down to was their tech, and it was their stat lines. It wasn't the typing themselves. Like, if you give Garchomp's stat line to Gliscor, Gliscor's going to be a huge problem for everything. It's more a reflection of stats than it was anything. Because if Dark was good, Dark is bad against Dark. Therefore, it removes itself from being good by then having no matchups. You know, Dragon kind of works in a bit of a similar way, like a lot of the Dragon types that were good were actually resistant and actually heavily bodied fighting. But the fighting types that were good were the tech users. Or there were ones like Conkeldurr, which had things like Flame Orb Guts, or Iron Fist, and then the punch moves. It came down to tech, stat lines, and abilities, not so much their actual typings, which is why Fairy was not a good solution, because it didn't fundamentally address what the problem was. That's the reason why when they added Dark and Steel back in Generation 2, that worked. Because the issue was, yes, Psychic is an issue, we gotta nerf it. But also they added in, a lot of people get it, they added in special defense back when Generation 2 happened. That was the other thing that really helped fix how strong Psychic types were. Because, yeah, now you have offensive and defensive counters to Psychic, but you also have everything else is now more able to stand up to the absurdity that was how powerful Psychic was. And also there's a lot to do with Generation 1 moves were complete garbage and they didn't know what they were doing. As well as critical hits were determined by your speed. By removing that, you took away Alakazam's absurd critical hit rate. So it was like a lot of things went into why Dark and Steel worked as a counter to Psychic. The same things do not apply at all for when Fairy was introduced into Generation 6. Because it was just a type counter. It wasn't fundamental mechanics reworking. Woman Steel resisted Dark and Ghost. I do. I remember the days where Steel was resistant. I remember the days when Bronzong only had one weakness. I feel that was done exclusively with the removal of that exclusively because they made Aegislash. Well, Steel's still one of the best typings. It's still very, very good. Though a large portion of that now is because it works at countering Fairy. Because Fairy is a problem. Fairy has become an increasingly more problematic typing. Yeah, I feel that people are starting to sort of realize that Fairy is a problem, but they're realizing, like, Fairy types, like, specific Fairy types are problematic, and not, like, the whole typing as a whole. Like, Pokemon that are problematic that we don't really like dealing with. Zacian. Fluttermane. Mega Mawile. Azumarill. What do I think I'm coming with Fairy? Zach, I thought my Royal Claymore, Royal Guard Claymore. Remove an advantage for Fairy. Remove an advantage for Fairy. What would it be? Remove advantage for Fairy. The fact that it actually has no weakness that is known for direct damage. So give it, like, less resistances and more weaknesses. I am not Spoon Fed. I'm not old Naruto fan. I'm like, it's the facial hair. I hate the facial hair. If I shaved this off, I would look younger. I hate the facial hair. I was actually gonna go shave after stream. I am not Spoon Fed. Also, one of the mods can do exclamation point Ash. How is Ash? Yeah, we don't bully Maxes here. We bully Ash. Would Fairy be a problem if Fire was super effective? It would still be a problem, yes. It would be a little bit less of a problem, but it would still be problematic. Again, the issue of Fairy is that all of what Fairy is not good against is weak to ground, and very few actual good offensive Pokemon are good against it. A lot of Pokemon that are good against Fairy are not known for being main offensive Pokemon. Ash, Ash, Ash. It's my home turf. Of course I've influenced them. This is my turf. If I went into your streams, they'd feel the same way about you. It's called home field advantage, honey. Ash, short. Shinobu. Who's Shinobu? Listen, I will hit you. You won't be... Ash! The step stool will just hit my leg! It won't be able to actually hit me. It'll just hit my legs. Oh. What change would you make to the type chart if you could? Remove Fairy's resistance to bug. Make Fairy weak to fire. Make Fairy neutrally damaged by dragon. and re-add Steel's resistance to Dark and Ghost. That's really the only changes I would make. I would correct what is wrong. I would correct the mistakes that have been made. I know Shinobu is, Hayato's mom in JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. AKA the wife of the guy that the serial killer man takes the place of. Mysterious serial killer man. Honestly, make Fairy resist Dragon since only Steel resists it. The thing is, again, Dragon doesn't really do well against it. Like, you kind of overestimate how powerful Dragon is. Dragon is just a beat stick. You look at Fairy types, they're very defensive in nature, but they can still take down dragons relatively easily because of their type advantage. Isn't JoJo reference? Shinobu Demon Slayer short. Isn't JoJo reference? Okay, Poison. Yes, Poison resists Fairy. Everything that resists Fairy is weak to ground. Which is the reason why... This is why back in Generation 7, Generation 6 and Generation 7, you would see every Fairy type just tacking on hidden power ground. Because the only thing that resisted Fairy was Poison, Ground, or Fire. You do something like set up a Calm Mind or something like Gardevoir and then just nuke everything into oblivion. Like, very few things could actually not get bodied by that. Well, the thing is, a Fairy Ground would actually not be that good, because then you have weaknesses to Ice, to Grass, to Water, and you add on a lot of weaknesses. Yes, you're good against Fairy's weaknesses, but Fairy is not good against Ground's weaknesses. People hate Hidden Power. Hidden Power being removed is a good thing. Like, I will die on this hill. I am beyond happy Hidden Power is gone. Because one, it just encouraged people to gen more, which means it encouraged people to hack. But also, it made special attackers just too strong. This is one thing I've been saying about my physical attackers for a long time. Physical attackers have gotten shafted. They got shafted so hard. Burn cuts your attack. Intimidate cuts your attack on a switch in. Hidden Power is a special exclusive move that gives special attackers perfect coverage. There are so many physical moves that are countered by contact bodying abilities. There is basically nothing like that for special attackers. Special attackers have every single advantage in the world. In Zawaldo. But my physical attackers, buddy, they got racked over and over again. They'd be intimidated for special attackers. There's a move. There's a lot of moves that operate like it. You've got like Snarl, Struggle Bug, that are like that, but not an ability that just switches and activates. The closest there is Frostmoth's Icy Scale or Ice Scales. But even then, there's more abilities that actually give a defense boost. Fluffy, Fur Coat. Then you get, Rough Skin, Iron Barb, Spiky Shield, Flame Body, Poison Point, Effect Spore, Rough Skin. So many things that counter my boys that are physical attackers. Elonala. Tap stops, the water. Yeah, there should be a version of that for special attackers. Naruto, do you have a Discord? I could talk to you about that on Discord. It's something I kind of need Discord to be able to send, because I need to be able to show a picture of the capture card. But that would require me unplugging the capture card I have in here, because I only have one capture card. I am doing very well, Lunala. Come on the mods, go grab Lunala's link. I mean, I'm doing okay. It's just the fact that Slowpoke is being a shoo and not sparkling. Roda, roda, rola! Exactly. There's so many great moments of Dio. He is very entertaining. How do you make one? Go to Discord, like the website. The website, and then you can make an account. You need I believe you need a phone number and a email address. I need 3 of them. I need 3 of these things. But we're gonna get others in Let's Go Pikachu, yeah. Like, if there is ever evidence you need to dislike Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, his first episode of being a thing, he hurts a dog. Man hurts a dog is the first thing. It's like, okay, we hate you. Do you think Terrapagos gimmick is gonna be easy? I think if anything, its gimmick is gonna be maybe it gets a bigger benefit from terastallizing. But I don't really think it's gonna have a gimmick. Because, like, I know people have been saying, okay, well, what if it has an ability that changes typing? Well, if it has an ability that changes typings every single turn, that's actually bad. If that is its gimmick, it's a really bad gimmick because you can't control it. I don't really think it's going to have a gimmick, or if it does have a gimmick, I don't think it's going to be good. By the way, if you don't know, Terrapagos released on anime. There's been a lot of Pokemon that have been released in the anime before they've been officially revealed. It's kind of how they do things a lot of the time. Like, Kecleon was done that way back with Generation 3. Well, back when Generation 2 was still ongoing, they had Kecleon appear, like, years before. Togepi appeared first in, like, in episode, like, 49 of the anime. Before, like, it was ever revealed as a Gen 2 Pokemon. They do that pretty regularly. Toxic chains seem to be such an unfun ability to deal with. What's toxic chains? Oh, is that a thing that exists in Red? But yeah, if Terrapagos has an ability, there's like a gimmick, I don't think it's going to be good. If it changes typing every single turn, you can't control that. And I think more likely deadly poison. So what's toxic chains? You don't need a Pokemon, but a poison touch. I'm not sure I follow. Imagine poison touch, but with anyone who's badly poisoned. Is that an actual ability? No, that's an actual ability. I think it'd be old Protean Boost. Maybe old Protean for it. I could possibly see that. But even then, like, Protean really isn't that... Even old Protean is not necessarily that good. You know, what made old Protean good is that you use it to throw people off. Once they know what your whole thing is, it becomes significantly easier to counter. Oh, they're the abilities of the Pokemon from the Teal Mask. Okay. Honestly, I don't really think it's going to be that bad. That doesn't really seem like that bad of an ability. Like, it doesn't seem like it will be too strong. Because, like, you can't poison steel type. You can't poison types. Need to watch the new Superman show tomorrow. It's coming out. I will possibly look into that. Didn't Greninja have a lot of coverage too? Yeah, the problem with Greninja is that its moves are not great. It's also frail. Having a lot of moves can only do so much when your moveset is entirely revealed in a best of 3. That's the reason why Greninja was very good back in Smogon stuff, because you use Protean and just basically either Scarf it or Specs it, and then just keep switching it in and out. But in a best of 3, that doesn't work. Because, like, oh, well, I know you have, like, Icy Wind or Ice Beam, Dark Pulse, whatever it is. We know what you have now. And then it becomes much easier to counter. No, Meowscarada would be not... Meowscarada would probably be the best of the old Protean users, but that's mostly due to it has knockoff. Like, knockoff is an amazing move. That move can make or break entire Pokemon, and realistically, Meowscarada probably would have been the best of them with old Protean. But it's more down to the quality of its moves rather than, like, the Pokemon itself. This Squatter doesn't have a lot of coverage moves, strong matches, most people run. Yeah. Like, you're running, like, Flower Trick, Sucker Punch. You're not really running Sucker Punch. You're running U-Turn generally. You know, U-Turn, you do U-Turn, U-Turn knockoff, Flower Trick, and, like, Protector Fake Out. Yeah, Fake Out would make you normal type if you switch out. But yeah, again, it's quality over quantity is what made Meowscarada really helpful over other things. That's why, like, Cinderace was not really good for VGC, unless you're using it as coaching support, because it was, I think, one of the few fast Pokemon to get access to coaching. And, like, Greninja was just dead when it came to VGC. It did not see usage, because it just was not well suited for VGC purposes. But it's useful. Sucker Punch also was not very beneficial during the Scourge that was Psychic Terrain in DD, which just shut down priority moves. It's more so, it was better just to go with knockoff, because Sucker Punch is kind of easy to call. Slowpoke is not like... I mean, the issue with the Slowpoke is we don't have a lot of spawns. We're not getting a whole lot of encounters. It's same issue that a lot of water types have. You don't need to show your face on Discord. You don't need to. I don't even know what Psychic Terrain blocks priority moves. And yeah. A lot of people don't really know all the effects the terrain moves have. But yes, it blocks priority moves used on grounded targets. So like using a Pokemon that is not a flying type. I'm not using Miraidon because you move a bit too quickly and I need to be able to look at the Pokemon longer. Because with a shiny that doesn't change that much like Slowpoke does, I need every second to look to make sure that they're actually not shiny or they are shiny. That's why I'm not using Miraidon. So I would rather have the hunt take a long time or take longer and me find the shiny than zip around the whole area faster and miss shinies. Yeah, Psychic Terrain kind of shut down Sucker Punch. It's why you didn't see people running Sucker Punch. It's why you'd run something like U-Turn to pivot out. Meowscarada would go in, use like Fake Out, and then just bop out. Or you'd fast pivot to something else with like Scarf. There was a number of reasons for certain moves. And now Indeedee is just non-existent. It just cannot keep up. It's like, you'd think in a metagame where everything is just focusing on outspeeding everything else, Trick Room would be super good. The problem is that nothing in Trick Room actually has the power level to deal with them. Like, Trick Room stuff really doesn't deal with Urshifu. It doesn't deal with the genies. It doesn't deal with, like, Heatran. It's like, they don't deal well enough with it. Because, like, Ursaluna is not good. People thought, like, if... We went over this yesterday, but, like, if Regulation D just added the Hisuian Pokemon, Ursaluna would have been a menace. But, because Regulation D also added in the legendaries, the minor legendaries, Urshifu had no shot. I mean, Ursaluna had no shot. Because Heatran wants to go Terra Grass, and Urshifu intrinsically destroys it. It just does not have the power to keep up. But if it existed outside of Urshifu and Terra Grass Heatran, Ursaluna would have been really good. I've seen Ursula on a lot of teams. The thing is, they're not good, is the issue. Or she just deletes it intrinsically. Just because something's on a lot of teams doesn't mean it's good. It's also kind of new toy syndrome where people are using it because, oh, it's new, I want to use it. And then they decide it's not great. Sure, you can send a picture of the Switch on Discord. Okay, those are going to be our last, this is our last sandwich we're running right now. It's going to be our last one. Something let's do. And the issue is getting Trick Room set up is a huge problem for it. Because Indeedee really cannot survive this kind of metagame. It's... the also other Trick Room stuff can't really survive this metagame. Hey Rave, how are you doing? Slowpoke is being a shoe. But my plan is to hunt this thing on Saturday. Not Saturday, on Sunday in Let's Go. Well, one of the things I plan on hunting in Let's Go. So I've got plans. So it's gonna be stuff. It's going okay. We've gotten no shinies so far today. Hello there, Detective Whooper. Glorious name. Absolutely glorious. And again, guys, if you haven't done so already, please do not forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. We got a Shiny-thon, Subathon this weekend, which you're gonna love to see watching me suffer as I shiny hunt. The more shinies we get, the more subs we get, the longer we go. People running Cresselia. For Trick Room, not people fake it other Pokemon. Let's put on Cresselia. The issue with Cresselia is it doesn't do much. It is literally a sitting duck. It's kind of just... Cresselia just kind of sits there. So you know it's not really the issue, and you can't run either Mental Herb or Safety Goggles. It's one of those things that in a best of 1 it can work, but in a best of 3 it doesn't. No, Stephanie, that would not extend the time. Because I know who's already subscribed right now. That also actively hurts the channel. So doing that actually would decrease the time we do. So that is actively contrary, Stephanie. Like you really don't know how much that is damaging to the channel to do that. Alright, thank you for the lurks, Rave. Thank you very much for the lurks. We've got only a few minutes left on this sandwich. Again, it's still negative to affect the channel. By unsubscribing, it says, oh, people don't like this channel, and it actively hinders us. Like, that is not good. Because people have done that, and it very much damages the channel. Let's go look for someone to possibly go raid. We gotta find some raid target. But yes, that is not a good thing to do. It is very damaging to the channel. Because when we were around to certain subscriber numbers, people would actually do that, and it very much negatively affected the channel for months after the fact. Stephanie, it doesn't matter. It still is unsubscribing. That matters more. Like, even if you resubscribe immediately after, it still damages the channel. Like, there's a very, very good reason to not do that. Yeah, don't bring alts. Yeah, like, in Alpha, do not bring alts. Like, again, the same thing. Alts, they will get purged immediately. If there's a massive influx of alts, they will all get purged. And again, less time. This honestly was a big worry about doing the subathon. So like this is honestly making me decide to not do the subathon. Like, because like you guys are already thinking of doing stuff like that. That worries me. Hello, Eagle. How are you doing? Welcome in. Wait, what happened, Aiden? I think what he means is that your timing of coming in, Eagle, was not great with, like, people were kind of stuff. Oh, Tears of the Kingdom. Right. But yeah, it's like, welcome in, Eagle. Hope you're doing well. Kill the Talus for a green rod to get the ball. Oh, you doing the Korok Forest shrines. Because, yeah, one of the Taluses has a, Shrine Crystal, that's what it's called. The actual term is Shrine Crystal. Which you need for that. Talus. I like the Taluses. I like them. They are good rocks. And again, guys, if you haven't done so already, please do not forget to leave a like and subscribe. I want to get good weapons. Because I never played Zelda. Maybe I should play some. I would recommend not starting with Tears of the Kingdom. It is a fantastic game, do not get me wrong. But it is a massive game. It is very overwhelming. It is a very, very overwhelming game. Bone Spear. There's a lot of people. I love Tears of the Kingdom. Every Tuesday we actually stream Tears of the Kingdom. I stop massive for it. Not following it, Alpha. Elden Ring. Oh, is too massive. I don't think it's quite as big as Elden Ring, but it is a very, very big game. There's a lot of stuff to do in it, a lot of stuff to explore, and just a lot of little mechanics. It's a very, very... Very, 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 very something. Very something. I love the game. It's very fun. I'm still fighting the strength to try. I still yet to fight the strength. I've never played Elden Ring. It's one of those games that I'm probably never going to play. Like Among Us or Fortnite. Log. So you're saying is it's as dumb as a log of wood. It is dumb as a log. Mad log scales. Single brain cell. No, you cannot find the Scimitar of the Seven in the depths. You need the Gerudo Scimitar for that. However, I believe if you use a regular, like even a decayed Gerudo Scimitar, it just becomes a pristine one for making the Scimitar of the Seven. But yeah, no, I believe the only way you can get more Scimitar of the Sevens is if you just go bring one to the lady again. But there is a way of continuously refreshing. Yeah, you need 5 more diamonds. I believe you need 5 diamonds every time you want to get them again. But there's actually a very easy way you can never need to break your Scimitar of the Seven. If you go up to a rock Octorok and you put the Scimitar of the Seven just right, well, any metal weapon just on the ground right in front of them, they will suck up the weapon, and they will refresh its durability. I believe it was 4 in Breath of the Wild, but in Tears of the Kingdom, you get both the Daybreaker and the Scimitar of the Seven at once, so it's 5 diamonds. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard somewhere the Elden Ring is bigger than Tears of the Kingdom. Just found Terry Town. Wow, the guy trying to charge me for using the railway. I have to finish the 3 game times. Good game. Wait, I think I could use it. Yeah, Lionels are actually very, very easy to cheese. Lionels are very easy to cheese. But that is all we wrote. No shinies today, unfortunately, for our hero. But it is time to go on a raid. Let's go find someone to raid. And again, if you guys haven't done so already, please do not forget to leave a like and subscribe for more wonderful, wonderful stuff and things. Who should we go? Ooh, all right, let's go raid. Let's go raid Domestic Fishy. He is going to be shiny hunting until he gets 100 likes. And he's also shiny hunting everything. So, let's give the buddy some love. Let's roly-coly out. I will see you guys tomorrow. Keep it white out, so Lionel, big damn go burr. Yeah. Lionels are very easy to destroy, and I love just clowning on them. I go fight them whenever I need more arrows. It's very, very fun. Also, 5-shot bows, because that's fun. Bye, everyone.